Takashi Yamamoto was barely 20 years old when he joined the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service in 1944. Unlike many of his fellow pilots who spoke of glory and honor, Takashi was quiet and thoughtful. He carried a small photograph of his younger sister, Yuki, who was only 12. She had tuberculosis, and the medicine she needed was scarce. Takashi had enlisted not for the emperor's glory, but for the extra rations his family would receive, rations that might save Yuki's life. The training was brutal and short. Takashi learned that he was being prepared for a special mission, a kamikaze attack. The word meant divine wind, but to Takashi, it meant death. Each night, he wrote letters to Yuki, describing the clouds he saw during training flights, the way the ocean looked from above, and how much he missed her laughter. He never mentioned what his final mission would be. On April 3, 1945, Takashi's squadron received their orders. They would attack an American carrier fleet near Okinawa. The night before the mission, Takashi couldn't sleep. He walked outside the barracks and found 3 other young pilots, Kenji, Hiroshi, and Daichi. They were all afraid, though none would say it aloud. They shared stories of their families, their dreams of what they wanted to do after the war, dreams they all knew would never come true. Dawn came too quickly. As Takashi prepared his plane, he noticed something wrong with Kenji's aircraft, a fuel leak that would cause an explosion before Kenji could even reach the target. Kenji had a newborn son he'd never met. Without hesitation, Takashi reported his own plane as damaged and insisted Kenji take it instead. "Your son needs to know his father tried to come home," Takashi said quietly. Kenji protested, but Takashi was already walking toward the damaged plane. Takashi knew the damaged plane would explode within minutes of takeoff. As he climbed into the cockpit, he thought of Yuki. He hoped his sacrifice would mean Kenji's son would grow up with a father, that somewhere, somehow, his choice mattered. As the engine roared to life, Takashi whispered a prayer, not for victory, not for the emperor, but for all the children who deserve to grow up in a world without war. The plane exploded 2 minutes after takeoff, far from any battle, witnessed only by the morning sun and the birds. Takashi Yamamoto never reached the enemy fleet, never became a statistic in any battle report. But Kenji survived the war. He returned home to his son and told him about the quiet pilot who gave his life so that others might have a chance. Years later, Kenji's son became a doctor, dedicating his life to saving others, inspired by a man he never met. A kamikaze pilot who sacrificed everything, not for war, but for hope.